Last week I watched the film Gorge, which I had been waiting for ever since its first trailer appeared. The film stirred ambivalent feelings in me. On the one hand, it is very watchable, yet on the other hand, it is kind of movie you only see once. Pleasant and enjoyable, but not one you will return to. I won't spoil anything, partly because I didn't really want to. For now, it is more about discussing the film. I love sci-fi movies. I like them when they are more mysterious, leaning toward horror and action, rather than being purely scientific. And above all, I like them when they are made for adults, sci-fi for adults. I'm really missing films like that nowadays. Or else, we get sci-fi movies for kids. Those superhero films from either the Marvel stable or Dark Horse, whose audience is primarily children, and even if you don't agree, they are usually funny, or funny when they are too serious, like New Batman. When it comes to film for adults, they end up being overly serious, like Interstellar, which I think is also too emotional. So this is for me too hard to watch them again. Some serious new sci-fi movies are lacking that sense, but adventure like Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, the only film in the series that was made for adults, or in the Terminator, the first one which I love, and the Alien series, or rather Alien and Aliens. I will just add that I used to prefer Aliens, but now I favor Alien. It's brilliant. It's after so many years, it is so good movie. And this movie don't have any deeper message. It is pure action, horror slasher in sci-fi world. It is about normal people putting in not normal situation. It can happen, so this is why it's so enjoyable. Or newer, very good sci-fi movie which fulfill my taste is Edge of Tomorrow. Unfortunately, such films are as rare as hen's teeth or other metaphor, few and far between. So when I saw the trailer for Gorge, I hoped to see that kind of spectacle, especially when I saw Sigourney Weaver and other good actors. And here, I was somewhat disappointed. Not entirely, but still. The film has all good qualities. It is sensibly made and action unfolds nicely. And it's interesting. Yet, on the other hand, the film feels empty, as if something is missing. Alright, if it can't be A-class cinema, then I still love B-class cinema. Based on B-class movies, I made the album B-Zombie 2. However, here again, it lacks that typical aspect of B-movie, gore and cheese, which both also omitted in Gorge. But frankly, it is good that Gorge is not cheese at all. So for me, it is kind of problem of Gorge. They little bit don't know what the audience should be, adults or children. But I think it is very big problem of a lot of movies from streaming era. Nevertheless, there are a few undeniable pluses in Gorge. As I mentioned, it is very enjoyable to watch and features VFX effects inspired by computer games, which I really appreciate. They are good. I will note that there was a time where computer games were inspired by films. But here it is very evident that the films draws its inspiration from the aesthetics of games. And that's a huge plus, because I missed it too. And finally, one more point that's particularly significant for me as a composer. It has wonderful music made by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and I wanted to say more about that aspect. In other words, this duo creates wonderful, pure electronic music. And on top of that, I usually incorporate piano. That combination of synthesizers and piano, it is also my favorite setup, which I use in Dying Light, The Ascent, and on the album Der Weg. Additionally, Atticus and Tren always strive to create something very original with their music, something in their unique, unmistakable style. Despite a certain harmonic style and recurring chord progressions, they always manage to create an original electronic synthesizer atmosphere. Moreover, in a film like this, such music works wonderfully. So here two ideas come together, and they are so good. I've listened to the film's soundtrack several times already. There's one interesting thing I noticed. In my opinion, the best track, the one that plays during the action scenes, does not appear on the official soundtrack. Why? I don't understand. It isn't short, it is long enough for a soundtrack, and it's very good, the best track. Now, a little about the equipment. Trent and Atticus are loyal to hardware synthesizers. I doubt they use only those these days, so they probably have a hybrid setup, but I don't want to talk about this now. But I do know that one of the synthesizers they use most often, and quite rightly so, is the minimoog Voyager. It's also one of my favorite synthesizers, the last one built by Robert Moog, which I also use, especially for basses. It also works great for dark, mysterious sounds, and its audio path is top-notch. I use the Voyager interchangeably with the Minimoog D. I really like them. They are irreplaceable. They have a wonderful, unique atmosphere. I will add that I tried to capture that vibe using a very good plugin, Softtube Model 72, which I like mostly when coming to Minimoog sound. And although it comes close, it isn't the same. It's not that you can't achieve that or almost the same sound. Everything starts to diverge, the plugin versus the real synth. When you begin playing arpeggios, specific notes, and it turns out that the plugin is empty, 2D, as if something is missing, whereas that something is present in the hardware. So abstracting from what I see on YouTube, it is very easy to run a test showing that hardware sounds the same, but that isn't true. I could prove it to anyone in 30 seconds. You just need to know what to play to show that it is the same and what to play to show that it's completely different. This doesn't mean that I don't like plugins. I even believe that nowadays they are so good that they allow me to be more creative, or rather to showcase my creativity faster. To achieve results more quickly, for some projects it's very important. We don't always have half a day to search for the something in the hardware. Here are a few vibes and couple comparisons. That's all for today. Thanks for taking the time to watch this film. I will often open this Pandora's box of hardware versus software. However, even I thought hardware is still the best in terms of sound for me. Creatively, software is the fastest and also allows for wonderful sound results. So for me, a hybrid approach wins. It works best. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe.